Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Nathan's 3D Factory. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to do a witch's cauldron. This is going to be a filler between a couple of umbrella tutorials I've been doing. So, I will say I'm doing more prep work on that one. So, I'm going to delete this cube, and then I'm going to do Shift A, circle. Curve circle. So, I've had a little practice on this here. Alright, I want this to be a radius of 40. Also, I want this to be 3D. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do next is that I'm going to add another curve, and it's going to be a path. Okay, let's see. I'm going to X these vertices. Now I'm just going to start drawing. Okay, there we go. Now what I want to do is that I want to take this GX40, because I did a curved circle of 40. I want to have this so that this vertex, or this pivot point rather, is exactly at 40. And then I'm going to rotate this along the x-axis 90 degrees. Now, let's see. Next thing we'll do is we'll take this circle. Now this is at a global 90, so it's not going to be a local 90, right? And then this is going to be a global 40 location, so that we can just kind of like play around with this as it goes around this. And so it's just going to follow this path. So, anyway, rambling. But what I'm going to do is go into geometry, and then I want to take the object as this guy. There we go. So now that we have that, I can tab into edit mode. And then I can start selecting stuff. Now, here we go. Okay. Oops, wrong object. I want the other one, the profile. Okay, I want to tab into that edit mode. There we go. So now what I want to do is that I want to start adding some points. So I sketched in my main stuff, got my framework going. So I'm going to subdivide. There we go. And then I can grab along the z-axis. This will be the global z-axis. Okay. Then I start scaling things. And then if I feel like my geometry is getting a little too complex, I can always delete vertices as well. Okay. So that's something that you should never feel ashamed of, is if you need to delete vertices and simplify things. That's totally the way to go. You can rotate. I think I actually want to get rid of this one. I thought it would be good, but I was like, nah, not really. Actually, I think I do want to keep that one. But I want to have it toward the top. Okay. Now, I also want to free up these vertices so that they're no longer aligned. So I can do V free. Okay. Then I can bulge it out. Bulge this out too. Okay. This vertex, I want to grab it, -40. Okay, because that I need to have at, okay, that actually needs to be at -40 even. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so that's still aligned. So, let's do that. G. Okay. -40. GX. Now I want to flatten that out at the bottom. But I will also pull these other points up. Alright. Let's see. Okay, so this one right here, I want to have that at -40. There we go. V, free. G, -40. Okay. Then I want to have these so that the rim is somewhat parallel with each other. Okay. Now these, I'm going to grab along the z-axis. 20. I think I want to keep these down. GZ, -10. Okay, a little better. I can kind of do this freehand now. Yeah, I still want to get this taller, though. GZ. Okay. Alright, now this guy... I definitely don't want it at that. Okay, I want it at that. Okay, better. And then I can kind of judge this to be, yeah, that kind of, that roughly that same 5mm thickness on that. Okay. And then I can also scale this up. And I don't want that in that much. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Now, do the same thing here. Okay. And then what I want to do next is that I want to take this and get it closer to this 40 right here. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to go into the solid. I think I might actually want to side this up again. I actually like that better. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a plane. Actually, I'm going to do a mesh circle. And it's just going to be 8 vertices. We're going to align this to the view. And we're going to increase the size of that radius there. I think I'll take it up to 8. Okay. All right. And then what I can do is I can take it and pull it along the z-axis. Oh yes, and I also want to take this, put it along face, GY. Okay. S, X. Okay. There we go. And then we'll fill this in, but I'm also going to join these. Join. Okay. Then I actually want to put some more vertices in here, but this kind of gave me my basis. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. And then I'm just going to take them symmetrically. Okay. I think I like that better. Okay. Same thing there. Okay. There we go. Okay. There we go. Now, let's see. I'm going to do a grid fill on this. Okay. Okay, I like that for the grid fill. All right. Get that. Okay, now let's see how that looks. Not bad. Okay. Shift N, just to make sure that we have our normals correct. And then I'm going to add a couple modifiers. I'm going to do subdivision surface. There we go. Next one, solidify. And I want that at a +1. And the thickness, I want it 1. There we go. Okay, shade smooth. And then I want to apply that. But I also want to add bevels. So we're going to put it at 2 for edge select. We're going to select all these edges. Okay. There we go. Control B. All right. Let's see how these look here. And I think I actually want to take that to 0.2. And for segments, multiply that to 3 segments, I think. Better. Okay. So now that I have that, I want to go to selected here. Now I'm going to add another curve. And then what we're going to do is that we're going to add that curve so that we have handles. We're going to go back into that draw mode. And we're just going to do a simple handle. There we go. All right. Go into wireframe here just to see what I'm doing. Okay, I want this in 3D. I just realized that. Delete those vertices. I'm going to do this again. There we go. All right. So okay, next thing that I want to do is that I want to have this so that it has a bevel. So I'm going to make this a depth of 2. And then I want to take that so that the entire thing has a profile here. So because right now, if we look at it, and we put it into local view, you notice that only half of it is happening right now. And I want to change that. I need to add some relief to this too. Okay. So now to get that relief, what we need to do is that we need to get our fill mode and change it from half to full. And then I also want to fill the caps. There you go. Resolution, I'm going to take to 6, I think, on this. I want this to have a little more relief on it. So there we go. Okay, now get out of that. And I want to make sure that this is entirely sitting outside. Okay. Okay. And what's cool is that I could have a nice little bend on this. Pretty cool, huh? Okay. So be kind of cartoony here, more than anything. Okay, let's get this up. That. That. Alright. And yes, maybe I could straighten these out. Okay, looking a little better. Okay. So anyway, there we go. So now what I can do is take these and let's see. I want to do Shift C and then Shift D RZ 180. Oops, hello. I want to take that so that's along the 3D cursor. Shift D RZ 180. Okay, there we go. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to apply this. So let's see. Shift A, Control A, rotation. Control A, rotation. There we go. Okay, so there is our witch's cauldron. So let me know in the comments below what you thought of this episode. Make sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so. Put a like on this if you enjoyed this tutorial. And thank you so much for watching Nathan's 3D Factory. Have a great day, guys.